Hey, did you know that schools back in the day would be let out early for kids to watch like public? And in a lot of cases, the would end with people taking body parts back home as souvenirs. And according to a couple Reddit posts, those families still have those souvenirs. But this video isn't about that. This is about black codes. Because a lot of people don't know what black codes are. And when you ask them what are black codes, they'll tell you something related to like Jim Crow, when black codes was well before Jim Crow. So I found, I want to say like 15 different black codes, and I'm going to tell you what they are and what they will be considered and how they were enforced. So I just counted, and it's actually 21 of them, but the more the better. Now, if you don't know what black codes are, if you've never heard it or you've always been curious but have gotten like a vague response, the best way I can explain it is like social crimes. Now, back in the day, after slavery was abolished, the northern states had just accepted that the South was going to do whatever they wanted to do, so they decided to not get involved with whatever they wanted to do. So anything that southern states wanted to do, individual states wanted to do, they could do, and including creating random social like laws or whatever, crimes that they said applied to everyone, but really only applied to black people. Now, these crimes consisted of, we can start with vagrancy because that is typically the first one that you'll hear when you hear about black codes. And if you don't know what vagrancy is, it's basically being unemployed. You couldn't be unemployed. Along with that, you couldn't quit your job. Now, the thing about these two is they played hand in hand with each other. Back in the day, a lot of people ask, why did black people sign contracts? Why did they end up back on the same plantations? Because you couldn't be unemployed. So the best way to stay employed is to sign a contract that basically says, now I'm employed by you. This is my protection from being arrested and ultimately put back on your plantation working for free. Mind you, black people were prohibited from working in fields other than agriculture and anything in like a servitude type of industry. That can be like a housekeeper. It can anything where they're your servant. When it comes to quitting your job, they will be charged with fraud. Another black code was you can't hire a free black man unless he has his discharge papers from his last employer, along with a reference. We still use references to this day, and that's where it started. Slavery. Another black code would be riding the train without a ticket. Now, what's ironic about this is the train was free. The South didn't have like the architectural design that we have today, like all these freeways and sidewalks. Also, they're getting rid of sidewalks, but anyway, but they didn't have a lot of sidewalks. So the best way to get to and from one side of town to the other was the train. It was free. But if you were caught riding without a ticket, it would be considered stealing. Stealing what? I don't know. The thing about this as well is like ticket counters and ticket stations were known for refusing black customers.
I'm not gonna lie to you, nigga. The Breakfast Club been finished, but I think this just put the icing on the cake. How dare y'all sit up there and try to make fun of a kid that recovered from brain cancer, gang? DJ Envy, you sitting up there talking, questioning if this little boy even black or not. And better hope that he don't be the officer to arrest you at that scamming you was doing with that real estate. Yeah, we remember you. It's Caesar and DJ Envy. Yeah, we remember you. And just hilarious. You wasn't till you started on Country Wayne. So shut the fuck up. You sitting up there high and mighty on Breakfast Club like you somebody, but you ain't had no energy when Sexy Red checked the fuck out of you. Shut up. Talking about the little boy hair was patchy. It scars from having brain cancer. You stupid. I hate y'all, bro. I hate bullies. I cannot stand bullies. I cannot stand bullies for the life of me, bro. I will die protecting somebody that's getting bullied, bro, because I never once liked that shit. Like, y'all sitting up there high and mighty like y'all don't got shit going on with y'all selves. Like, how can you see a little black boy get awarded as an honorary Secret Service member and then think like, let's talk some shit on our next show in the morning? Bro, ratings, fuck all that. The Breakfast Club is canceled, bro. It's
So this commenter is asking a really good question of why does it seem like so many famous black women or black women celebrities end up choosing wrong romantically? And that's a question that I think is very layered, but I want to talk about it. So without further ado, okay, no, but can we talk about it? First and foremost, I think that the pattern of black women who are successful academically and in their career choosing poorly romantically is a pattern that is very layered. And there are a few reasons why I think this happens at such a commonplace. The first reason being that we are either taught poorly what it means to love and be loved romantically, or we aren't taught at all. Due to our history, Black women are taught hyper independence, and it is a trauma response. We are taught to never depend on our Black men, to get an education and get a career so you're self-sufficient, and that you should not be depending on anybody for any reason at all. Not to mention, if those of us have grown up in religious homes, we are often told to not even worry about dating at all, and that we should focus on our studies and not boys. So in the time frame where teens and late teens and early 20s, we are supposed to be out there learning how to date and learning those skills, our heads are in the books, learning education. And I believe that the way we are taught to completely avoid learning how to date and love is doing us a disservice at large, because that lack of experience sets us back tremendously when we are of age to finally date. And while everyone else that are in the dating pool have more experience, we are starting usually at 0 or very close to it. The next reason I have listed is male intimidation. And yes, it is a thing, and it does matter. In general, males have a very hard time dating women who are successful, especially if her success outshines his. And it doesn't matter his own success level. It doesn't matter how much money he's made. If when they walk into a room, people only notice her, most men's egos and pride are way too fragile to handle that long term. Now, when you add the Black component into the woman, it makes it, in my opinion, 10 times worse. Because not only as a woman, you should not be doing better than a man, but as a Black woman, who do you think you are doing better than me as a man? You possess 2 major social setbacks that should keep you at bay and make it easier for me as a man to outshine you, and yet you prevail? Yeah. Men don't like that. And that's not even a Black man thing. That's just a man thing, I think, across the board. Then we go into the poor choice component, which I think has a lot to do with lack of experience. Whether it's because we weren't allowed to date in our youth, or we were able to date, but due to slim pickings, we didn't get much experience. And this is where colorism and fat phobia also play a role. Because the darker your skin tone and the more plus size you are, the less options you have. Let's just keep it a bean. And within the teenage, early 20s time frame, social programming is at an all-time high. So for a lot of Black boys, they are deep in the colorism and fat phobia bag. During that age, the majority of them are fawning over the lighter skinned girls and the skinnier girls. And that ends up leaving a lot of us who don't fit that mold without experience. Beyond that, a lot of these celebrity Black women, oftentimes who we're seeing them get pregnant by or date seriously, that is their first real boyfriend, or one of few, because they've been told to hunker down and focus on their success and not focus on dating or men. And for my last reason, I want to circle back to misogynoir and talk about it through the lens of, because Black women are typically the most underpaid, undervalued, and underrepresented despite being the most overqualified in the room, that does not do well up here in our brains and in our hearts. And that experience leaves us very susceptible and vulnerable to males who are ill-intended, but know that all they have to do to loop us in is to notice us, to notice our talent, and to notice our abilities, and to compliment those things in the way that we're not receiving in our careers. For a lot of us, baby, that's hook, line, and sinker. And so because of these systemic ways that Black women are held back in our society, it leaves us susceptible to men who are ill-intended and who are here to manipulate and take advantage of us. Because unfortunately, due to these systemic issues, for a lot of us, all it takes for us to really lock in with you is to be noticed by you, and for it to appear as if you are not intimidated by our success initially. So in conclusion, while yes, I do believe that lack of self-love, lack of discernment, and lack of vetting skills plays a role, there's a reason why we as Black women display a lack of self-love. And there is a reason why we as Black women have poor vetting and discernment skills at large. And I think until we address the entire issue, it really isn't fair to minimize the issue down to you should have known better and chosen better. There are more factors at play here that are also systemic that go into why we see this pattern happening. Because the reality is, this issue and pattern of poor choosing romantically is not exclusive to celebrity Black women only. Because despite Black women being the leading demographic of degree holders, and despite us making waves in our careers and making a whole lot of money on, there is an issue with us being very book smart, but not very love/street smart. And I think that there's something to be said there, and it's not just as simple as lack of self-love and lack of discernment and lack of vetting. So hope this makes sense.
I already know y'all finna start coming down here to the country, so let's just go ahead and go over a few ground rules before y'all get here and before we get started, okay? You don't have to know anybody to speak to them. Hey, baby, how you doing? When my uncle passed that jar over to you, it don't have no label on it. Yes, I'm finna take a sip out of it. I got that motor oil running through my veins. I don't have no nutritional facts about this liquor, okay? Somebody he know made it. You can have some if you want, but I'm just letting you know right now. It's plenty of food, baby. You can have all the food you want, baby. Fill your plate up. But please eat what's on that plate, because if my aunt see you throwing food away and you wasting food with all these starving children out here in the world, she gonna lose it. Me and my cousins, we all over here standing under the tree and whatnot. Don't bring none of the conversations or the activities that's up under that tree up by the house, because you going to get everybody in trouble, okay? Well, nothing you care about out here. It ain't nothing but red dirt all up and through out here. So please, honey, don't put on nothing that you just desperately need. When you see my cousins with the white T-shirts and the towels on over their shoulder pulled up, hey, don't lean on his car. That's his car show car, and he going to lose it, so please. Yeah, that's hers. It's all there. I know, that's hers, baby. That thing real. It's that, yeah. That's how they build them down here. I don't know what that is that he making over there by that truck, but I'm sure it's good, because he hunt all the time. He'll tell you what it is, but I don't know what animal it is. I'm still gonna have some, though. Put no heels on out here, baby. Them heels going straight down in that ground. No, don't do that. Just say you already got a home church, okay? Just say you got one, okay? Because if not, they're going to try to recruit you to their church. Just say you already got a home church, okay? All right. Come on, all 748 people over there. Yeah, them all my second cousins. Yeah, everybody ain't even here yet. Don't sit at that card table if you don't play for real. No, listen. Don't sit at that card table if you don't play for real, okay? Yes, ma'am. You don't have to say yes, ma'am, but if you say yes, ma'am, then your scoop of banana pudding get bigger. I'm just letting you know up front, okay? Okay. Just take the to-go plate. I'm full too, baby, but you gonna wish you had took that plate come 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Once we get done partying here, my cousin got an after-hour spot, so we going to there. You're gonna need that plate for later. Don't walk over there. They about to start frying fish. Yeah, they'll just randomly fry fish out of nowhere, so move so you don't smell like it. Talking about what's on the back of his truck? A deer? Didn't understand him. Oh, he said you were fine as frog hair. Baby, that's a soda. A Coke. It's still a Coke.
Y'all, I swear I was just at work minding my own business. Y'all know I'm supposed to be on a diet. I don't know if this is healthy or not, but my homeboy Chango, y'all know my dog, if y'all been following for a minute, his wife make tamales. And he said that there is a rib, a pork rib, a whole rib in this tamale. I don't believe it. So we about to fact or cap this shit. Chango! You say it's a rib in here? It is a bone in there. Yo. Tell your wife I need like 12 of these.
Oh, it's good, huh?
Hell yeah. Y'all, she put a rib in the tamale. This normal Mexicans do this shit?
Yeah.
They do this like this fruit, like this ain't nothing she made up.
Yeah, a lot of people do like that. And a lot of people, like it. I like it like when I eat the bones.
That green salsa, was that it? Yo. One thing about Mexicans, bro, they will feed your ass. That shit, that good. That's good. When I got up this morning, got ready for work, it never crossed my mind that I would discover. The hell is that in my beard? That I would discover a tamale with pork. Hey, Chungo, I need like 12 of them for real, bro.
You know, the most interesting thing about this whole video is the fact, or at least this clip, is the fact that you have all of these laws that were specifically made, that people determined that, hey, we are going to have free slaves directly out here. We have to figure out a way to corral them. We may not have slavery, anymore. A lot of people are going to be free and they can just be out and about. But somehow, some way, we still have to have control over them. We still have to figure out a way to make sure they know that we are still ever present, that no matter how free they are, that we still own them, that we still have a say so over their autonomy. And this is when they came up with a lot of these laws, rules, and regulations. And these laws, rules, and regulations 100% were made by white people, those in the government, those in the state, wherever. And the many other white people who are not in government agreed with these laws. They were okay with these laws. Again, they could be the quote unquote Democrat, they can be the Republican. Again, it's a part of the exact same book. It's a part of the exact same coin. It doesn't matter. They all work for one main goal, which is for the representation, which is for the control and the power of their own people. That's it. They want to make sure that they are the ones in that seat indefinitely, no matter what happens, no matter what transpires, what takes place. I think there was an actor at a moment in time who stated that he was fine with everything in front of the lens changing, right? So the faces, the colors, the traditions, the cultures, language, all of that can change in front of the lens. But what doesn't and what shouldn't change is who is behind it. And 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, when you think about the person behind the camera, it's always somebody who's white. And that's specifically what he was talking about. And again, I find that very interesting, that everything else can change, but the person who is looking at or who has the scope. The reason I bring all of this up is because I've told people, especially white people, time and time again, that, hey, if you are not open to the history, if you decide or opt to not teach this history, then it is meant to be repeated. And I'm not so much so stating that black people are going to repeat this exact same history, because there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a fight. The people who are going to inevitably repeat this history are going to be white folks. And for whatever reason, you guys are oblivious. You guys feel that, hey, that's not something that's going to happen. We would never do anything like this to our own people and all of these things, right? We love ourselves. Why would we do this to our own? When realistically, you've been doing it. It's just not been that obvious. It's not clear cut. It's not been fully determined, because the main thing that mainstream media and many others have made sure to do is to shine the light and to put all of the attention on the quote unquote minority or the black Americans directly out there and push them to the forefront, make them the problem, make them the issue, and so on and so on and so on. So because that light is specifically on them, it's fixated. The sun itself is directly fixated on black Americans. Everybody else is just moving around and acting like can't nothing harm them, can't nothing stop them, nothing's going to impede. There's not going to be some large obstruction. They're acting as though that they can never suffer or go through the same or worse history that black Americans have gone through. But soon enough, they will find out, just like everybody else. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.